And now I have created something of a bonus tier titled Parenthood Would Have Fixed Them. This tier is specifically for Phileas Fogg and Macbeth, two characters who tragically had their chances to be parents stripped away from them and who now have gaping holes in their hearts that should have been filled by children. I will die on the hill that Phileas, had he had the chance, would have been in the S tier. Every single scene he has with the kids in Around the World in 80 Days is so sweet. I'm not exactly sure if in the David Tennant and Cush Jumbo production of Macbeth, Lady Macbeth had a miscarriage or if they lost their child while he was very young. Either way, that is an immense source of trauma and tension for them throughout the play. The next tier is It's Complicated. Artie Lang from Mad to Be Normal gives me the ick and probably isn't the best at being there, but the scenes he does have with his kid are really heartbreaking and sweet. Harry Watling from Inside Man obviously loves his son a lot and would sacrifice pretty much anything for him. Unfortunately, this leads to him making a lot of really terrible decisions that end up landing his kid in prison. Alan Hamilton from Recovery, this one is obviously really sad. I'm sure Alan was a great dad. Unfortunately, we don't really get to see him in his natural state throughout the film because he's recovering from a brain injury and treats his family pretty horribly as a result. And the doctor? I don't know what the heck's going on with him. I don't know how many kids he has. The one episode where we do kind of get to see him being a dad, he's a bit reluctant at first, and then he kind of wants to be a dad, and then she dies. So, yeah. The D tier is entitled Womp Womp. Casanova was not a great dad. He let his son wander around the frickin' streets of France or whatever by himself, and then he ended up being into incest as an adult. So that's not great. Tony Battingham, the scenes where he's with his kids, he's pretty surly. He doesn't have the world's greatest response to finding out his son is having gay sex with one of the servants. But I would say in the scheme of Tony's overall evils and crimes throughout the show, the way he treats his kids is kind of the least of our problems, so he's not in the bottom tier. And the final tier, the worst of the worst, is titled Not My Dad! You also hear something! John Halder leaves his family to have an affair with one of his students. This is bad, but it would probably land him in the womp womp tier rather than the bottom tier, if not for the fact that he did all of this while also being a Nazi. So yeah, not great. Tom Kendrick murdered his entire family. I think we'll leave it at that. And, Edward Fallon, or whatever his name is, from Criminal UK, essayed and then murdered his stepdaughter. Also, if anyone's curious if David played Silco, I'd probably put him in He a little confused, but he got the spirit. Is this the ethically correct placement? Probably not. Is this the correct placement in my heart? Yes.